Good morning students. Hope you are all fine. Today we are going to see chapter 9, the living organisms and their surroundings in grade 6 science NCERT book. In our last class we discussed about habitat, types of habitat and adaptation. What is habitat? Yes, the natural surrounding where a living organism live is called its habitat. What is habitat? The natural surroundings where a living organisms lives is called its habitat. First we'll see types of habitat. Living beings live on land, in water or on the trees. Based on this, habitats are classified into two types. First one is terrestrial habitat. Second one is aquatic habitat. First we'll see terrestrial habitats. Land provides the best living condition to the living organisms. Land provides the best living condition to the living organism. Depending upon the living conditions, terrestrial habitats can be classified into few more types. First one, desert habitats. Second one, grassland habitats. Third one, rainforest habitats. Fourth one, polar habitats. And fifth one, mountain habitats. So this one depending upon the living conditions. These all are classified by the depending upon the living conditions. What are the types of terrestrial habitats? Desert habitats, grassland habitats, rainforest habitats, polar habitats and mountain habitats. Desert habitats are hot and dry because they get very little amount of rain. The organisms live in such habitats are camel, rat, snake and cactus. Next one, grassland habitats. Grassland habitats get moderate rain. The organisms living here are deer, lion, zebra, giraffe and grasses. Next one, rainforest habitat. It's generally hot and wet and it gets plenty of rain. Compare with desert and grassland, it gets plenty of rain. The organisms living in such habitats are monkeys, snakes, tigers and large variety of trees. Next one, mountain habitats. It's are cold and windy. Snowfalls also takes place in the higher mountains. The organisms found here are goats, yaks, sheep and pine trees. These are the organisms living in mountain habitats. Next one, components of habitat. One is a biotic component, another one is a abiotic components. Biotic components are included plants and animals. These two are come under the category of biotic or living components. Biotic components are living components. The non-living or abiotic components include air, water, soil, sunlight and temperature. These components affect the living organism found in the area. These two components are important for habitats. In our last class we discussed about desert habitat and adaptation for desert. Desert habitat. Desert habitat has very little rainfall and very hot and dry condition. Sand and soil is dry. It's very hot during the day and very cold at night. Desert is very hot during the day and very cold at night. Now we'll see adaptation needed to survive in desert. What are the adaptation needed to survive in the deserts? Yes. Reduce water loss as much as possible. Reduce water loss as much as possible. Retain moisture in the body. These are the main adaptation needed to survive in desert. First we'll see adaptation in cactus. In cactus plant, leaves are either absent, very small or reduced into spines. Leaves are either absent, very small or reduced to spines. This helps to reduce water loss. Why it's like this? Because that absence of leaves or that leaves are reduced into spines. This all or helps to reduce water loss. Stem is green and it prepare food for the plant. We already knew leaves are the food factory. We call it as the leaves or food factory of the plant. Here either leaves are absent or it reduced into spine. Then where it takes place the photosynthesis? Yes, in a stem, because that's a green in color. Root system goes deep into the soil for absorbing water. These are the adaptation needed to survive in desert. Next one, adaptation in animals. Camel. A camel has a long leg which help to keep the upper part of the body away from the heat of the sand on the ground. After drinking water once, it can live for many days without water. Camel excrete a small amount of urine. Its feet have a thick pads which protect it from the hot desert sand. It has a long eyelash which do not allow flying sand to reach its eye in a sandstorm. It can close its nostril so that sand does not enter the respiratory system during a sandstorm. Next one, adaptation for polar and mountain habitats. First we'll see adaptation in plants. In mountains and polar regions, the trees are cone-shaped with sloping branches. In mountain and polar region, the trees are cone-shaped with sloping branches. Many of them have a short needle-like leaves. Many of the trees have a sharp and needle-like leaves. These features help the snow to slide off easily. Why this one have a cone-shaped sloping branches and needle-like leaves? Yes, these features help the snow to slide off easily. Next one, adaptation in animals. Adaptation in animals. In the polar region, the animals like polar bear have very thick fur which protect them from cold. Why it's have a thick fur? Yes, that thick fur protect them from cold. Penguins have a layer of oily waterproof feathers. They also have a thick layer of fat under the skin. So this one regulate their body temperature. Yak and snow leopards living on mountain habitats also have a thick skin or fur used to protect themselves from cold. Mountain goats, strong hooves which help them to climb rocky slopes of mountains. These are the adaptation needed to survive in polar and mountain habitats. Now we are entered to our today's topic. First one, adaptations in grasslands and forests. In a grassland, mainly grasses are found. See this picture. This is a grassland. See here, mainly grasses are found. A few shrubs and trees are also seen. Grasslands have hot and dry summers with low water availability. Grasslands have hot and dry summers with low water availability. Tropical regions, on the other hand, have plenty of rainfalls throughout the year, giving rise to growth of thick forests. Adaptation in plants. Adaptation in plants. Plants in grasslands have flexible stalks so that they bend and do not break in windy conditions. Plants in grasslands have flexible stalks so they bend and do not break in windy conditions. They have strong roots and small leaves. They have strong roots and small leaves. In forest, vegetation is very thick. In forest, vegetation is very thick. Tall trees with a lot of foliage on the top allow very little sunlight to pass. Tall trees with lot of foliage on the top allow very little sunlight to pass. Foliage means what? Yes, foliage means greenish. Okay. Leaves on trees have grooves and special tips that allow water to drip easily. Leaves on trees have grooves and special tips that allow water to drip easily. It prevents rotting of leaves. To absorb as much light possible. Vegetation growing in lower level has large leaves. Vegetation growing in lower levels has large leaves. In grassland, grasses have a long and strong root to support them in windy conditions. Grasses have a long and strong roots to support them in windy conditions. And to penetrate the soil to find water. Penetrate means let in. So let in the soil to find water. These grasses are able to survive even in the dry season. Grasses may die in the driest season, but will start to bud and grow again when conditions are favorable. Listen it. Grasses may die in the driest season, but will start to bud and grow again when conditions are favorable. Stems in grassland have thin and flexible stalk. Stems in grassland have thin and flexible stalk so that they do not break in strong winds. Because this stems are very flexible. Stems in a stalks, they are very flexible, so it do not break in strong wind. The leaves of shrubs and trees are reduced to smaller size to reduce loss of water. The leaves of shrubs and trees are reduced to small size to reduce loss of water. So roots have a long strong to support them in windy conditions. Grasses have thin and flexible stalks, so they do not break. And leaves are smaller in size to reduce loss of water. Animals like lions, deer, zebra, giraffes are found both in grasslands and forest habitats. Animals like lion are carnivores and are called predators. Animals like lion are carnivores and are called predators. They feed on other animals like deer and zebra. These animals they feed on are called their prey. These animals they feed on are called their prey. Predators and prey have different types of adaptation to survive in the same habitat. Predators and prey have different types of adaptation to survive in the same habitat. First we'll see lion. Lion is a carnivorous and are called predators. Lion has long claws on its front legs to catch and hold the prey firmly. Lion has a long claws on its front legs. Lion has a long claws on its front legs to catch and hold the prey firmly. To catch and hold the prey firmly. These claws can be withdrawn inside the toes while walking and reaching up to the prey without making noise, and can be taken out from capturing and holding the prey. Listen it. These claws can be withdrawn inside the toes while walking and reaching up to the prey without making noise, and can be taken out for capturing and holding the prey. Lion has eyes in front of the face to have accurate idea about the locating of the prey. Lion has eyes in front of the face to have accurate idea about the location of the prey, and has light brown color that help him to hide in the dry grass. These are in a light brown color that helps him to hide in the dry grass. Lion has strong pointed front teeth to tear a flesh. Lion has a strong pointed front teeth to tear the flesh. So animals like lion have strong claws that remain hidden inside their toes and come out at the time of hunting. They also have sharp teeth to grab and stab the prey and tear the prey. Next, deer. Deer is comparatively a small animal to lion. Deer is comparatively a small animal to lion and is present in the same habitat. It's a prey for larger animals like lion and so has different adaptation to survive in the same habitat. Deer has eyes on the side of its head that allow him to look in all directions for danger. Deer has eyes on the sides of its head that allow him to look in all directions for danger. They help him to escape from the predator. They help him to escape from the predators. Has long ears to hear even movements of the predator. Deer has strong legs to run fast and with speed to escape from danger. Deer has strong legs to run fast and with speed to escape from danger. It has strong flat teeth that help him to chew on the hard plant stem. Deer has strong flat teeth that help him to chew on the hard plant stems. Similar adaptations like those of lion are seen in other large animals and predators like wolves and foxes. Adaptation like those of the deer are seen in smaller animals like zebra and buffaloes that are generally prey for large animals. These are the adaptation needed to live in grasslands and forests. Next one, aquatic habitats. Aquatic habitats. The habitat of plants and animals that live inside the water are called the aquatic habitats. The habitats of plants and animals that live inside the water are called the aquatic habitats. Aquatic habitats can be classified into few more types. One is the marine habitats, second one freshwater habitats, third one coastal habitats. First we'll see marine habitats. Marine habitats are saltwater habitats mainly in sea and oceans. The organisms living in marine habitats are whale, sharks, seaweeds and sea turtle. These are all live in a marine habitats. Next one, freshwater habitat. Freshwater habitats are lakes, rivers, ponds and streams. The organisms living in such habitats are fish, water bugs, water lilies and water hyacinth. And last one is coastal habitats. Coastal habitats are those regions where sea actually meets land. Where sea actually meets land is called a coastal habitat. Such habitats support different types of living organisms. The living organisms in such habitats are crabs and mangroves. Adaptation in oceans. Marine animals like fish, squid, octopus, dolphin, whales live in sea or ocean. Most sea animals have streamlined bodies. Fish, dolphin, whales have streamlined body. Some sea animals such as squid and octopus do not have streamlined body. When they move in water, their body acquires streamlined shape. When they move in water, their bodies acquire streamlined shape. They stay deeper in the ocean near the seabed. They stay deeper in the ocean near the seabed. Plants like seaweeds, rockweeds, and sea grasses are commonly found in seas, while coral reefs are commonly found growing in oceans. Crabs, starfish, prawns, and shellfish of different types live in the sea. Sea turtle, seahorse, jellyfishes, and many more types of animals are found in ocean. Big and small fish of different types are found in both saltwater and freshwater habitats. Prawns, crabs, sharks, and whales are found in saltwater bodies. Octopus live in the deep water of the oceans. Octopuses live in the deep water of the oceans. In water plants, roots are reduced in size. Their stem become long and narrow to withstand water currents without getting damaged. Their stem become long and narrow to withstand water current without getting damaged. Stems have air space that enable the plant to float on the surface of water. Floating leaves are large and flat. They have waxy coat which make them waterproof. For example, water lily. The leaves that are submerged in water are long and narrow. Submerged in water are long and narrow. They bend along with water movement. Example, tape grass. So these plants are bent along with the water movements. Water lily leaves are broad and flat leaves. Tape grass leaves are narrow and long leaves. Freshwater plants are called hydrophytes. Some plants remain underwater while some float in water. For example, duckweed does not have well-developed roots. It floats on the water in a pond. Some plants are submerged like hydrilla. They have soft stem. Some plants like lotus and water lily are fixed as the flowers and leaves float on the water, but their stems remain fixed by means of roots to the soil at the bottom of the pond. Adaptation in water animals. Water animals have streamlined body that reduce the resistance due to water and help them to swim fast in water. That streamlined body help them to swim fast in water. Their body is covered with scales to make them waterproof. The body is covered with scales to make them waterproof. They have gills for breathing underwater. They have flat fins and tails that help them to move or change the direction and keep their body balanced in water. They have flat fins and tails that help them to move or change their direction and keep their body balanced in water. They have an air bladder that helps them to float in water. They have an air bladder that helps them to float in water. Some animals like octopus and squid do not have streamlined bodies. However, while they move in water, they move their body streamlined. Animals like dolphin and whale do not have gills to breathe in water. They have blowholes located at upper part of their heads. Animals like dolphin and whales do not have gills to breathe in water. They have blowholes that one located at upper part of their heads. This enables them to breathe easily when they swim near the surface of water. This enables them to breathe easily when they swim near the surface of water. Frogs usually have pond as their habitat. Frogs can live both in water as well as on land. Frogs can live both in water as well as on land. Webbed feet to help in swimming. Lungs for breathing on land and moist skin for breathing in water. Lungs for breathing on land and moist skin for breathing in water. Strong hind leg to help in leaping and catching the prey. Strong hind legs to help in leaping and catching the prey. Adaptations refer to change in an organism over a long period of time. Adaptation refers to change in an organism over a long period of time. There are certain changes that can occur in an organism over a short period of time, which help the organism adjust to the change in its surroundings. This is called acclimatization. For example, sheep grow very thick wool in cold climate. Next, we'll see characteristics of the living beings. Many things that we see around us every day are living or were once alive. But what does it mean to be living? Yes, all plants and animals that you see around are living. Other objects such as car, bricks, bucket, book, table, chair are non-living things. All living beings have some common characteristics that are not present in non-living things. Let's see some features of living beings, both in plants and animals. First one, cellular organisms. All living beings are made up of cell. A cell is the smallest unit of living things. Some living organisms are made of only a single cell, that like amoeba, yeast, bacteria. They are called unicellular organisms. Most of the organisms are made of millions of cells. They are called multicellular organisms. For example, human beings, housefly, dog, horse, rose, mango and pea plants are multicellular organisms. Some organisms are made of only one cell is called unicellular organism. Most of the organisms are made up of millions of cells. They are called multicellular organisms. Example for unicellular organism are amoeba, bacteria, yeast, and multicellular organism are human being, dog, housefly, frog, rose, these all are. Next one, movements. You can see animals moving, isn't it? They move around in search of food, shelter, or to escape from enemies. All living things need food, water, and air. All living things need food, water, and air to survive. Plants prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. They use this food energy for all the life process that takes place in the body. Water is essential for plants as they absorb all the nutrients from water. Air is also absolutely essential for respiration and photosynthesis. All animals need food to survive. They use food energy to perform various metabolic processes in the body. They also need water for all processes that takes place in the body and air for respiration. Non-living things do not need food, water, air. For example, chair, table, pen or pencil remains as it is for years without any of these. So all living things need food, water and air. All living things grow. All living things grow. Does the shoes you have 4 years back still fit you? You can't wear it anymore, isn't it? All living things, whether plants or animals, show growth by increasing in weight, size or volume. A small child grows into an adult, and a seed germinate and grow into a plant. We see young ones of so many animals growing into adult, like pups into dogs, chicken into hen, kitten into cats, cubs into lion. But non-living things remain of the same size forever. So all living things show growth. All living things reproduce their own kind. All living things, whether plants or animals, reproduce their own kind. Animals like insects, fish and birds lay eggs, and when the eggs hatch, the young one come out and grow into adult. Animals like insects, fish and birds lay eggs, and when these eggs hatch, the young one come out and grow into adults. Animals like cats, dogs, cows and even humans give birth to young ones. Plants like mango, wheat and corn produce seeds, which on germination give rise to new plant. Plants produce seeds, which on germination give rise to the new plant. The living things have a limited lifespan and die after that, so it's important for them to produce their own kinds for their extensions on earth. Non-living things cannot multiply or produce their own kind. All living things give response to stimuli. We laugh when happy, or cry when sad, or squeeze our eyes in bright light. Birds flock on seeing the food and move away if you go near them. Plants also show response in various ways. The leaves of touch-me-not plant or mimosa close when touched, and the pea plant coil around a nearby object for support. So, living things give response to stimuli, but non-living things do not give any response to stimuli. Living beings respire to get energy. We can't live without breathing. Close your nostril with your finger for a while. Are you comfortable? No. When your nose is open, you inhale air and also exhale air. The process of inhaling and exhaling air is called breathing. During breathing, oxygen is taken and carbon dioxide, nitrogen and oxygen and water vapors are thrown out. Breathing is also called the external respiration. Breathing helps in the movement of gases from outside to the body and from the body to outside. Breathing is fast when one is running, jumping or doing some other exercise. The process of producing energy from the food due to its reaction with oxygen is called respiration. The process of producing energy from the food due to its reaction with oxygen is called respiration. All living beings respirate, but non-living things do not respirate. A healthy human breathes 22,000 times a day and takes in about 16 kg of oxygen. All living organisms excrete. Excrete means through the waste materials from their body. Living things use energy from the food for various metabolic processes like respiration, digestion, movement, growth, repair of tissue, etc. During all these processes, waste are produced which are harmful to the body and so they need to be eliminated. So, getting rid of this waste is called excretion. All living things show excretion, that is, move their body waste produced during different processes. Even plants show excretion. The mechanism in plants is different from the animals. The plants store their waste in the leaves or other part of certain form which do not harm the plants. Some plants remove their waste by secretion through their body surface. For example, gum and resins are excretory product of plants. Characteristics of living beings. What are the characteristics? Yes, all living things need food, water and air. All living things respirate. All living things excrete. All living things reproduce their own kind. All living things shows movement. All living things give response to stimuli. All living things shows growth. All living organisms are born, grow into adults, get old and finally die. Thus all living beings have a lifespan of certain defined period. That is, each living organism live for certain defined period of time. The duration of time for which a living organism lives is called its lifespan. Different living organisms have different lifespans. The average lifespan of some animals organisms are given in this picture. See, bacteria 20 minutes, housefly 1 to 4 months, mouse 2 to 3 years, squirrel 8 to 9 years, dog 16 to 18 years, lion 20 to 25 years, horse 25 to 30 years, ostrich 45 to 50 years, elephant 70 to 90 years, human being 65 to 80 years, tortoise 120 years to 150 years. These are the average lifespan of these animals. Okay students, we completed this lesson. You have to read these topics in your NCERT book. We will see next lesson in our next class. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.